My girlfriend screamed. My friends think I can do so much better. You're holding me back. I calmly said, I won't hold you back anymore. Then I broke up with her on the spot and left. This morning she called me crying because her friends are tired of her sleeping on their couches. My girlfriend Madison had 3 best friends, Tiffany, Amber, and Kayla. They were the type of women who took group photos at brunch and captioned them, "Boss Babes," unironically. You know the type. Designer handbags they definitely couldn't afford. Coffee orders with 7 modifiers. Every conversation started with, "So I was manifesting," or "My therapist says." They all worked in social media marketing, which, as far as I could tell, meant they posted on Instagram for small businesses and called it a career. Combined, they maybe made $120,000. Combined. But they lived like they were pulling in $500. Tiffany drove a leased BMW. Payment, $650 a month. Her salary, $42,000 a year. The math didn't math. Amber worked for a startup that had been about to IPO for 3 years. She got paid in equity. Equity she couldn't cash out, but she had a company credit card for networking events which she used to buy $18 cocktails. Kayla's situation was most interesting. She technically worked in social media marketing, but really she was dating Marcus, a 47-year-old divorced finance guy who paid her rent as a gift. She lived in a luxury condo he visited on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This was Madison's friend group. These were her boss babes. Madison worked at a coffee shop, made $15 an hour plus tips, brought home maybe $2,200 a month on a good month. I'm a civil engineer, made $87,000 a year. Not rich, but comfortable. We'd been dating 2 years, living together for 1. My apartment, my lease. She moved in because her roommate situation fell through and she just needed a few months to save up for her own place. That was 12 months ago. Rent in our city for a 1-bedroom is about $1,800. I paid $1,200. She paid $600. Utilities split 50-50. She bought groceries sometimes. It was fine. She was fun. We got along. I didn't mind covering more of the rent, but then she met Tiffany, Amber, and Kayla. Suddenly, our apartment wasn't good enough. It was small. The neighborhood was not aesthetic. The furniture was giving IKEA. It was IKEA. I bought it at IKEA. It's affordable and functional. That's the point of IKEA. Babe, we should move somewhere with more natural light. Tiffany's apartment has floor-to-ceiling windows. Tiffany's apartment costs $3,200 a month. So that's almost double what we pay now. But it's in the arts district. We can't afford the arts district. Speak for yourself. Excuse me? Madison, you make $2,200 a month. Rent alone would wipe out your entire paycheck. That's why we'd split it. I'm not paying $2,600 a month in rent. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You have no ambition. I let it go. Figured it was just her adjusting to new friends. Then came the restaurant complaints. Can we go somewhere nicer tonight? Amber went to this amazing sushi place last weekend. How much was it? I don't know. Like $200 for 2 people? We're not spending $200 on dinner. Why not? Because I'm saving for a down payment on a house. You're always saving. We never do anything fun. We went to the movies last week. The movies. Wow. So fancy. Madison, you literally picked the movie. That's not the point. I genuinely didn't know what the point was. This went on for 3 months. Every time she hung out with her friends, she came back with a new complaint about our life. Our car wasn't nice enough. My job was boring. I didn't dress well. We didn't travel enough. I wasn't ambitious. I'm a civil engineer working on infrastructure projects. I design bridges. I literally build the things that keep society functioning. But sure, not ambitious. The final straw came last Tuesday. We were having dinner. I made pasta. Simple carbonara. She was on her phone the entire time. Madison, Can you put your phone down? I'm texting Tiffany. We're eating. So it's rude. She looked up. You know what's rude? Being held back by your partner. What? Tiffany said I'm being held back, that I could do so much better than this. Better than what? This. She gestured around. Small apartment, boring dinners, a boyfriend with no ambition. I looked around our apartment. 1 bedroom, clean, well-maintained, decent furniture, kitchen that worked, bathroom that didn't have mold, heat in the winter, AC in the summer. What's wrong with our apartment? It's small. It's 750 square feet. That's normal for a 1-bedroom. Tiffany's is 1,200. Tiffany pays $3,200 a month. We pay $1,800. Because you won't move somewhere nicer. Madison, you pay $600 of that $1,800. I pay $1,200. If we moved to a place like Tiffany's and split it fairly, you'd be paying $1,600. That's almost your entire paycheck. So, I could get a better job. You've been saying that for 6 months. Because you don't support me. I literally pay 2/3 of our rent so you can have money for other things. How is that not support? She threw her hands up. You don't get it. Kayla's boyfriend is a vice president. Amber's boyfriend just bought her a car. Tiffany dates guys who take her to Michelin star restaurants. Kayla's boyfriend is 47 and sees her twice a week in exchange for paying her rent. That's not a relationship. That's an arrangement. Amber's boyfriend is drowning in debt to impress her. And Tiffany dates guys who ghost her after 3 weeks because they realize she's high maintenance. You're judging them. I'm observing them, and I'm noticing that you want what they have without any of the downsides. I just want more. I have ambition. You have expensive taste. That's not the same thing. I have ambition. You don't. I put down my fork. I have a degree in civil engineering. I passed the PE exam on my first try. I'm working on a $45 million infrastructure project. I've been with my company 3 years, and I'm on track for a promotion to senior engineer next year. I'm saving for a house. I max out my 401k. What exactly about that says no ambition? You've been at the same job for 3 years. That's how careers work. You build experience. You don't jump around chasing titles, you develop expertise. Kayla's boyfriend is a vice president. Kayla's boyfriend has been working for 25 years. I've been working for 5. In 20 years, I'll probably be a vice president too. That's called a career trajectory. You're making excuses. I put down my fork. Looked at her. Really looked at her. She was serious. She genuinely believed this. Madison, what do you want from me? I want more. My friends think I can do so much better. They're right. You're holding me back. Something in me just clicked off like a switch. The part of me that cared about making this work? Gone. The part that wanted to explain and justify and defend? Offline. I felt nothing. Just calm. Okay, I said. Okay, what? I won't hold you back anymore. What are you talking about? We're done. I'm breaking up with you. She laughed. Actually laughed. You're not serious. I am. Pack your stuff. You need to move out. You can't kick me out. It's my apartment. You're not on the lease. I'm giving you 30 days notice as of right now. But you're welcome to leave sooner. What? You said your friends think you can do better. Go do better. I'm sure one of them will let you stay while you find a new place. You're being ridiculous. No, I'm being practical. You're unhappy. I'm tired. This isn't working, so let's end it. You can't just break up with me over one comment. It wasn't one comment. It's been 3 months of comments. You don't like anything about our life. You don't respect me or my career. You want someone more ambitious, richer, fancier. That's fine. Go find him, but it's not me. Where am I supposed to go? Didn't you just say your friends think you can do better? I'm sure they'll help you do better somewhere else. I can't just leave right now. You have 30 days. That's generous and legal. I stood up, grabbed my keys and wallet. Where are you going? Out. You can start packing or not. Up to you, but you're leaving. I went to my friend Chris's house, explained the situation. He let me crash on his couch for the night. When I got home the next morning, Madison was gone. Most of her stuff was still there, but she wasn't. I texted her, "Take your time getting your things. You have until the end of the month." No response. Fine. I went to work. Normal day, came home, made dinner, watched TV, went to bed. It was weirdly peaceful. Day 2, still no word from Madison. Her stuff was still in my apartment. I started boxing it up, not throwing it away, just organizing it so she could grab it easily when she came back. Day 3, still nothing. Day 5, I get a text from a number I don't recognize. "This is Tiffany, Madison's friend. You need to let her back into the apartment." No, she has nowhere to go. She has 25 more days to collect her belongings. You're being unreasonable. I gave her 30 days notice. That's what the law requires. She can coordinate a time to pick up her things. She doesn't have anywhere to stay. That's not my problem. She said her friends think she can do better. I assume one of those friends has a couch. No response. Day 7. Madison texts me, I need to get my stuff. Sure. When? Tonight. I'll be home after 6. She showed up at 7 with Tiffany, Amber, and Kayla. All 3 of them glaring like I'd committed a war crime. They were dressed for battle. Designer athleisure, perfect makeup, hair done, like they were about to film a reality show confrontation. Hey, I said. Madison didn't say anything, started grabbing her stuff. Tiffany stepped forward, arms crossed. You know you're a complete asshole, right? Because I broke up with someone who told me I was holding them back? Because you kicked her out. I gave her 30 days notice. That's literally the legal requirement, and she's the one who said she could do better. I just agreed with her. She didn't mean it. Then she shouldn't have said it. Words have consequences. Amber chimed in. Do you know how hard it is to find an apartment in this city? Yes. That's why I've been paying $1,200 a month while Madison paid $600. But since I'm apparently holding her back from her full potential, I figured she'd be better off finding a place that matches her ambitions. You're being petty. I'm being practical. Madison wants more. I hope she finds it, just not here. Tiffany was scrolling through her phone, not even paying attention. Classic. Amber was eyeing my TV. Is that a 55-inch? Yes. That's it? Kayla's boyfriend has an 85-inch. Good for Kayla's boyfriend. Don't you want a bigger TV? Not particularly. This one works fine. She shook her head. No ambition. These were the people giving Madison life advice. These people. Madison was in the bedroom, packing clothes. I could hear her crying. Tiffany noticed me noticing. See what you did? I didn't do anything. She said I was holding her back. I let her go. That's what she wanted. She wanted you to fight for her. Why would I fight for someone who doesn't respect me? Because that's what men do. No. That's what men in romantic comedies do. In real life, when someone tells you they can do better, you let them. Then they figure out if they actually can. Amber, she can definitely do better. Then why is she crying in my bedroom? No answer. They helped her load her stuff into Tiffany's car. Multiple trips. Tiffany complained about scratching her BMW interior. Amber kept checking her phone. Kayla asked if she could take my Keurig. No. But Madison uses it. Madison is moving out. The Keurig stays. You're so selfish. It's my Keurig, that I bought, that I use. So yes, it stays with me. Madison walked past with a box, didn't make eye contact. When they were done, Tiffany turned to me. You're going to regret this. Probably not, but thanks for the concern. Madison's amazing. She'll find someone way better than you. I hope so. She deserves to be happy. That seemed to confuse them. They were expecting a fight. I wasn't giving them one. Amber, you don't even care, do you? I care that Madison's unhappy. I don't care that we're breaking up. Those are two different things. Cold, practical. They left. Madison gave me one last look, like she was waiting for me to say something. To ask her to stay. To fight. I waved. She got in the car. I closed the door, sat on my couch, ate leftover pizza. Life went on. Week 2. I hear through a mutual friend that Madison is staying with Tiffany temporarily. Week 3. Mutual friend says Madison is bouncing between friends' places while she looks for an apartment. Week 4. I get all my locks changed. Not because I think Madison will break in, but because it's good practice after a breakup. Week 5. I get a call from Madison's mom. Jake, hi Mrs. Chen. I heard what happened. I'm so sorry. It's okay. These things happen. Can I ask you something? Sure. Did Madison really say you were holding her back? Yes. Long pause. She's an idiot. I laughed. Couldn't help it. I appreciate that. She called me last week, said she's been staying with friends. I asked her why she doesn't just get an apartment. She said she's looking, but everything is too expensive. Rent hasn't changed since she lived here. That's what I told her. She said she can't afford $1,800 for a one-bedroom. She never had to pay $1,800, she paid $600. I know. I told her she should apologize to you and ask if she can move back in. What did she say? That her friends said that would make her look weak. Of course they did. Mrs. Chen, I really liked Madison, but she made it clear she wasn't happy with our life. I'm not interested in being someone's backup plan. I understand. You're a good man, Jake. She's going to realize that eventually. Maybe, but it won't change anything. We chatted for a few more minutes. She apologized again. We hung up. Week 6, nothing. Week 7, I start dating again. Casual. Just coffee dates. No expectations. Week 8, I meet someone nice. Her name's Lauren. She's a teacher, makes $48,000 a year, drives a 10-year-old Honda, lives in a studio apartment. We go Dutch on our first date. She insists. We go to a diner. She orders a burger. Doesn't take photos of her food. It's refreshing. Week 10, Lauren and I are seeing each other regularly. Nothing serious yet, but it's nice. Week 12. Almost 3 months after the breakup, I get a call. Madison. I don't answer. She calls again. I don't answer. She texts, please pick up, it's important. Then I'm serious, I need to talk to you. Then, Jake, please. I call back. What's wrong? She's crying, full breakdown crying, the kind where you can barely understand what they're saying. I need help. What happened? Are you hurt? Are you in danger? No, I can't keep staying with my friends. Oh, that kind of emergency. Why not? Tiffany says I've been there too long. She says I'm disrupting her energy, and her boyfriend is uncomfortable with me being there. How long were you there? 5 weeks. Okay. What about Amber? I stayed with her for 3 weeks. Her roommate said I was eating their food and not replacing it. Were you? I had some cereal a few times. Did you buy more cereal? No. Then they're right? Whose side are you on? The side of personal responsibility. What about Kayla? I stayed with her for 2 weeks, but Marcus got weird about it. He said it's awkward having me on the couch when he comes over. Yeah, I bet it is awkward having a third person around when you're visiting your twice-a-week girlfriend. So that's 5 weeks with Tiffany, 3 weeks with Amber, 2 weeks with Kayla. That's 10 weeks. Where have you been the last 2 weeks? I've been rotating, a night here, a night there. One of them will let me crash for a day or two. Then I have to leave. I'm exhausted. Okay, so what do you want from me? I don't have anywhere to go. Madison, what do you want from me specifically? Long pause. Can I come back? No. Please, I made a mistake. You were right. I'm sorry. I believe you're sorry, but no. Why not? Because we're broken up. Because you told me I was holding you back. Because you spent 3 months complaining about everything I provided. Because we don't work? Pick a reason. I was wrong. My friends were wrong. They hyped me up and then they abandoned me. I'm sorry that happened, but that doesn't change us. We were good together. No, Madison, we weren't. You were unhappy. I was frustrated. We were convenient for you and exhausting for me. That's not good together. Where am I supposed to go? You have a job. Get an apartment. I can't afford it. You could when you lived with me, because you were covering most of the rent. Yes, I was, because we were in a relationship and I made more money. But you told me I was holding you back. So I let you go. Find someone else to cover your rent, or find a cheaper place, or get a roommate. Those are your options. My friends. Your friends aren't your friends, Madison. They hyped you up to leave a stable relationship because it made them feel better about their own situations. Tiffany wanted you to be as messy as her dating life. Amber wanted someone to complain with about money. Kayla wanted someone to validate her arrangement with Marcus. They didn't care about your well-being. They cared about having company in their dysfunction. That's not true. Really? Where are they now? You've been couch surfing for 3 months. Have any of them offered to help you get an apartment, co-sign a lease, give you a deposit loan? Silence. That's what I thought. They're tired of me. Because you expected them to solve a problem you created. That's not friendship. That's dependency. So you're just going to abandon me too? I'm not abandoning you. I'm maintaining a boundary. We broke up. I'm not responsible for housing you. I loved you. Past tense, noted. I still love you. I don't believe you. I think you love the stability I provided. The cheap rent, the consistent paycheck, the guy who didn't demand you split $200 sushi dinners. But you didn't love me. If you did, you wouldn't have spent 3 months telling me I wasn't enough. She was crying harder now. Madison, I'm going to be honest with you. You need to figure out your life. Get a roommate. Find a cheaper apartment. Pick up extra shifts. Stop comparing yourself to your friends. Stop living beyond your means. That's the only way this gets better. I can't do this alone. You're going to have to. I'm sorry, I really am. But I can't help you. So that's it? That's it? You're just gonna let me be homeless? You're not homeless. You're temporarily inconvenienced. There's a difference. You have a job. You have options. You just don't like any of them. That's not my problem to solve anymore. I hate you. That's fine, but you called me, remember? She hung up. I sat there for a minute, felt nothing. No guilt, no satisfaction, just neutral. Lauren called. Hey, wanna grab dinner? Yeah, absolutely. We went to a Thai place, split the bill, talked about our days. She told me about a student who finally understood fractions. I told her about a bridge design that got approved. Normal. Easy. No drama. Week 15. I hear through the mutual friend that Madison's friends don't talk to her anymore. Apparently there was drama. Something about Madison expecting them to keep supporting her indefinitely. Shocked. Truly shocked. Week 16. Madison texts me. I got an apartment. Congratulations. It's $1,600 a month. I had to get a roommate. That's good. Roommates help with expenses. It's in a worse neighborhood than where you live. Okay, and it's small. Most apartments are. I just thought you should know. Why? No response. Week 20. Almost 5 months after the breakup, I see Madison at a coffee shop, not the one she works at. A different one. She sees me. Freezes. I wave. Keep it civil. She walks over. Hi. Hey, how are you? You? I'm managing. Good. Awkward pause. This is weird, she says. Little bit. I'm sorry for everything. I appreciate that. Do you think we could ever? No. Just like that? Just like that. I'm seeing someone. Oh, yeah. Is she better than me? She's different, and we're happy. That's all that matters. Right? Take care of yourself, Madison. You too. I left, didn't look back. Lauren was waiting in the car. That her? Yeah, she looks sad. She made her choices. You okay? I'm great. And I was. Here's the thing about people who say you're holding them back. They're usually holding themselves back and looking for someone to blame. Madison didn't need a richer boyfriend or a fancier apartment or a more ambitious partner. She needed realistic expectations and better friends. But those aren't things I could give her. Those are things she needed to figure out herself. Did she? I don't know. Don't really care. I'm busy building bridges. Literally and figuratively. And dating a woman who orders burgers at diners and splits the bill and doesn't think my IKEA furniture is giving anything except functionality. Life's good. No regrets. My girlfriend sold my late grandfather's classic Mustang while I was at work to fund her influencer trip. She texted me a picture of her new designer bag, saying, treating myself. I replied, good, you'll need it for court. Then I canceled her credit cards and reported the car stolen. I'm sitting in my garage, staring at the empty space where my grandfather's car should be. It's a 1967 Ford Mustang, cherry red, and it was his pride and joy. He left it to me when he passed away 3 years ago, and I've spent nearly every weekend since then working on it. It wasn't just a car, it was my last real connection to him. The smell of the old leather and gasoline was the smell of my childhood. Yesterday, that space was filled. Today, it's just a few oil stains on the concrete and a gaping hole in my life. My girlfriend Jenna, 33, and I have been together for 4 years, living together in my house for the last 2. I'm 36, I own a small contracting business, and I work with my hands. Jenna is a social media content creator, which mostly means she takes pictures of expensive things and posts them online. I never really got it, but I supported her. I paid the mortgage and the bills so she could focus on building her brand. Looking back, I was a fool. An absolute blind fool. The signs were there. She always called the Mustang that dusty old thing, and complained about how much space it took up. She'd ask why I wasted my weekends tinkering with junk instead of taking her to brunch. I always just brushed it off. I thought she was just different, that she didn't understand the sentimental value. I never imagined she could do something like this. This morning, I left for a job site at 6 a.m., same as any other day. Jenna was still asleep. Around noon, my phone buzzed. It was a picture from her. She was posing in front of some fancy-looking hotel lobby, holding a brand new designer handbag that costs more than my monthly mortgage payment. The text read, "Finally treating myself to something nice. This influencer life is paying off." I just replied, "Looks nice." I was busy, trying to manage a concrete pour before the rain started. I didn't think much of it. I got home around 7 p.m., exhausted and covered in dust. The house was quiet. I figured Jenna was out with her friends, celebrating her new bag or whatever. I showered, made a sandwich, and went out to the garage to work on the Mustang's carburetor for an hour before bed. And it was gone. The first thing I felt was confusion. My mind just couldn't process the empty space. I thought maybe it had been stolen. I ran back inside, heart pounding, ready to call the police. That's when I saw the envelope on the kitchen counter. My name was written on it in Jenna's loopy handwriting. Inside wasn't a letter. It was a check for $5,000 and a short, scrawled note. "Hey babe, had an amazing opportunity come up for a brand trip to Miami, but I was short on funds. I know you've been wanting to clear out the garage anyway, so I took care of it for you. A guy my friend knows buys old cars and he gave me a great deal. Using the money for the trip and my new bag. I even left you some of the profit. See you in a week. Love, Jay." I read it 3 times. The words swam in front of my eyes. She sold my grandfather's car, for a trip, for a handbag, and she thought leaving me $5,000, a fraction of its actual value, would make it okay. Something inside me didn't just break, it turned to ice. The hurt was there, deep and heavy, but on the surface, all I felt was a cold, sharp clarity. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a betrayal on a level I couldn't have imagined. I walked back to the kitchen, picked up my phone, and looked at the picture she'd sent me again. Finally treating myself to something nice. I typed out a new reply. "Good? You'll need it for court?" Then I did 3 things. First, I called my bank. I reported every single one of our joint credit cards as stolen. I explained that my partner had made a significant fraudulent transaction and left the state. They immediately froze the accounts. Her access to my money was gone. Second, I called the non-emergency police line and reported the car as stolen. I explained that my girlfriend had sold it without my permission, that the title was solely in my name, and that I had a note from her admitting to the act. They took my report seriously and said they would open an investigation. Third, I logged onto her social media. There it was. Her profile was full of pictures from Miami. Her and her equally vapid friends drinking cocktails on a rooftop bar, posing on the beach. She'd tagged the brand that was supposedly sponsoring her trip. Out of curiosity, I sent the brand a polite message, asking if they were collaborating with Jenna. 5 minutes later, they replied, "We have no record of this person. We do not work with influencers who have such a small following. This is likely a fake brand trip." So she lied about that too. She sold a piece of my family, a piece of my soul, for a fake vacation to impress people on the internet. I packed every single thing she owns into trash bags. Her designer clothes, her makeup, her ring lights, all of it. It's all sitting by the front door. I've already called a locksmith. He's on his way over to change the locks on my house. She thinks she'll be back in a week. She has no idea that the life she had here is already gone. She didn't just sell a car, she sold our future. And now, she's going to have to pay for it. Update 1. 48 hours later. The last 2 days have been a blur of legal paperwork and cold, hard fury. Thank you all for the comments and messages. It helps to know I'm not crazy for reacting this way. The locksmith came and went on the first night. The feeling of turning that new deadbolt, knowing her key was now just a useless piece of metal, was one of the most satisfying feelings I've had in my life. The calls started the next morning. It was around 10 a.m. I was at my lawyer's office, going over the details of the fraudulent sale. My phone rang. It was Jenna. I let it go to voicemail. A minute later, a frantic message came through. "Mark? What is going on? My card just got declined at the hotel. I tried the other one, and it didn't work either. This is so embarrassing. Call me back right now." I didn't. Instead, I forwarded the voicemail to my lawyer, who had a good chuckle. He confirmed that since the title was solely in my name and I had her handwritten note, we had a very strong case for felony theft and fraud. The police had already entered the car's VIN into the National Stolen Vehicle Database. The real fireworks started about 6 hours later. I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was one of her friends, Tiffany. The one who apparently knew a guy who buys old cars. "Mark, what is your problem?" She shrieked into the phone. "Jenna is stranded. The hotel kicked her out because her payment didn't go through. You can't just cut her off like that." I kept my voice calm and even. "Tiffany, you participated in the theft and sale of my private property. I'd be very careful about what you say next. The police have your name as a person of interest in an active investigation." The silence on the other end was beautiful. I could practically hear the gears turning in her head as she realized she was in serious trouble. She mumbled something about not knowing and hung up. Jenna's social media posts stopped abruptly. The glamorous pictures of Miami nightlife were replaced by a wall of silence. I can only imagine the panic that was setting in. No money, no hotel, and now her friends were likely backing away, not wanting to get dragged into a police investigation. This morning, the other shoe dropped. I got a call from a detective. They had located the car. Apparently, Tiffany's guy was a shady, unlicensed dealer who operated out of a warehouse. He bought the Mustang for $15,000 cash. No questions asked. Because Jenna had a copy of an old registration and a sob story about needing money to escape an abusive boyfriend, she forged my signature on a bill of sale. The dealer, now facing his own legal issues for purchasing stolen property, had already sold the car to a legitimate classic car collector in another state. The detective told me it was a mess, but they were working on recovering the vehicle. He also told me they had issued a warrant for Jenna's arrest on charges of grand theft auto and forgery. The best part? Because she used the mail to send the forged documents, she might also be looking at federal charges. My lawyer advised me to send her one final formal communication. I drafted an email with my lawyer CC'd. Jenna, it has come to my attention that you sold my 1967 Ford Mustang, which is titled solely in my name, without my consent. You admitted to this in a handwritten note. I have reported the car stolen, and I am aware that a warrant has been issued for your arrest. I have also frozen all joint financial accounts, as you use them to facilitate your travel after committing a felony. Your belongings have been packed and are being moved to a storage unit. You can arrange to have a third party retrieve them once you have dealt with your legal situation. Do not contact me again. All future communication must go through my attorney. I hit send about an hour ago. I haven't gotten a reply yet. Her parents called a little while ago. Her mother was crying, asking how I could do this to her, how I could be so cruel as to have her daughter arrested. I asked her a simple question. Did you raise your daughter to believe it's okay to steal from the people who love her? She didn't have an answer for that. She just kept saying I was ruining Jenna's life. No, I said, my voice is cold as steel. She's ruining her own life. I'm just holding the door open for the consequences. I hung up. The trash bags of her things are gone now, moved to a storage unit I paid for a month in advance. My house feels quiet. It feels like mine again. This is far from over, but for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm in control of my own life. Update 2. 1 week later. It's been a little over a week since I found out about the car. The quiet in my house has been a blessing. I've spent the time cleaning, organizing, and reclaiming my space. I moved my workshop tools around in the garage, filling the empty spot where the Mustang used to be. It still hurts to see it, but now it feels more like a battle scar than an open wound. The legal process is moving faster than I expected. Jenna, realizing she had nowhere else to run, turned herself in to the police in Miami. Her parents had to fly down and post her bail. According to my lawyer, she's facing some serious charges, and the district attorney isn't inclined to be lenient, especially given the premeditated nature of the crime and the forgery. The smear campaign I was expecting has begun, but it's been laughably ineffective. Some of her influencer friends started posting vague things on social media about toxic men and financial abuse, trying to paint me as the villain who cut off his poor, innocent girlfriend for no reason. It didn't work. I never responded publicly, but the truth has a way of getting out. The story of her stealing and selling a classic car to fund a fake vacation is just too specific, too wild to be spun any other way. People who know me, who know how much I loved that car and my grandfather, immediately knew her story was nonsense. The few mutual acquaintances who reached out to me got the simple, unvarnished truth. Most of them were horrified on my behalf. Jenna's parents tried to intervene again. Her father, a man who has never once shown me a shred of respect, called me and offered to make this right. His version of making it right was for me to call the DA and drop the charges. In return, he would pay me back for the car. I asked him what he thought the car was worth. He confidently said, well, she got $15,000 for it. So let's say $20,000 for your trouble. I laughed. I actually laughed out loud. That car, in its current state of restoration, was conservatively valued at over $50,000. Fully restored, it would be closer to $80,000, but its sentimental value is something you couldn't possibly understand. So, no, I will not be dropping the charges. He started yelling then, calling me ungrateful, saying I was throwing away a 4-year relationship over a stupid car. You're right, I said. I am throwing away a 4-year relationship, but it's not over a car. It's over the fact that your daughter is a thief and a liar who values a handbag more than my family, my trust, and my heart. The car was just the weapon she used to prove it. I hung up before he could respond. The best development came yesterday. The classic car collector who bought the Mustang was contacted by investigators. He's a wealthy guy who is passionate about cars and has a reputation to protect. He was furious that he had been sold a stolen vehicle and was incredibly cooperative. He has lawyers of his own, and they are now coming after the unlicensed dealer who sold it to him. That dealer in turn is flipping on Jenna and Tiffany, offering to testify against them in exchange for a lighter sentence for his own shady practices. It's a beautiful cascade of consequences. My lawyer is confident we will get the car back. It's currently being held as evidence, but the title is clear and my ownership is not in dispute. It's just a matter of time. I received a letter in the mail yesterday. It was from Jenna, sent from her parents' house. It was 6 pages long, full of excuses and blame. She was stressed. She felt neglected. I was always working. I didn't appreciate her. The trip was a chance for her to feel independent. She thought I'd be proud of her for being so resourceful. She never thought I'd react this way. Not once in those 6 pages did she write the words, "I am sorry." It was all about how my reaction was hurting her. Her reputation was ruined. She could go to jail. It was all my fault for overreacting. I didn't reply. I just added the letter to the growing file of evidence for my lawyer. She still doesn't get it. She still thinks she's the victim. Some people are just incapable of seeing the wreckage they create. They just walk away from the fire and complain about the smoke. Final update, 3 months later. It's been 3 months, and the dust has finally settled. I'm writing this from my garage, and for the first time in what feels like an eternity, I'm not staring at an empty space. The Mustang is home. Getting it back was an ordeal. It was transported from 2 states away, and there was some minor damage from being moved around so much, but it's here. It's mine. The moment the flatbed truck rolled up my driveway and unloaded that beautiful piece of machinery, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't felt in years. It was over. I had won. The legal battle ended not with a bang, but with a plea deal. Faced with overwhelming evidence, the note, the forged bill of sale, the testimony from the dealer, and Tiffany, who turned on her instantly to save her own skin, Jenna had no choice. She pleaded guilty to felony theft and forgery. She managed to avoid jail time, which I was initially angry about, but her sentence was severe in other ways. She got 5 years of probation, a permanent felony record, 200 hours of community service, and was ordered to pay full restitution. Not the $15,000 she got for the car, but the court-appraised value of $55,000. Her father paid it. He had to take out a second mortgage on his house to write that check. The look on his face when he handed it to my lawyer was, I'm told, a perfect picture of defeated arrogance. That check didn't just represent the value of the car. It represented the total cost of his daughter's entitlement. Jenna's life, from what I hear, has completely unraveled. Her influencer career is a joke. The scandal of her arrest and conviction became a small local news story, and the details were humiliating. Her brand is now permanently associated with theft and deceit. Her social media is a ghost town. Her friends, especially Tiffany, abandoned her. She had to sell the designer bags and clothes to help pay her legal fees. She's living back at home with her parents, working a retail job at the mall. There's a certain poetic justice in that. The woman who sold a piece of my soul for a life of luxury is now folding sweaters for minimum wage. I never spoke to her again. Her lawyer tried to arrange a meeting for her to apologize in person, likely a tactic to get me to speak on her behalf at sentencing. I refused. An apology without accountability is just manipulation. I had nothing left to say to her. I used the restitution money to finish the Mustang's restoration. I hired the best shop in the state to do the bodywork and paint, and I've spent my weekends meticulously rebuilding the engine. It's more beautiful now than my grandfather ever could have dreamed. Every time I turn the key and hear that engine roar to life, it feels like a victory. It's a symbol that you can't break something that's built on a solid foundation. My life is better now, quieter, more authentic. I've started dating someone new, a woman who actually asks questions about the car and listens with genuine interest. A woman who understands that some things are worth more than money.